Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday morning open house trading room. My name is Eric Senft. I'm going to be your host for the next hour and a half or so. Hang on one second while I get you my monitor. Okay, what you're looking at here is the diversified trading system. And it's diversified because we're looking at the market from three different points of view. Here in the top left, we have the Hawk Micro Scalper. Obviously, the Hawk Micro Scalper is designed to pick up short-term scalping signals. Next to that, we have the Falcon Swing Trader. Here in the bottom left, we have the Eagle Trend Trader, and the bottom right is the latest addition to the DTS assortment of tools. This one is called the Raptor. And the Raptor is kind of a blending of the other tools. You have elements of the Hawk, the Falcon, and the Eagle all present here. And the idea is that the Raptor is going to work off of one screen instead of several screens. They all have their strengths, and I hope that we'll find some decent trades to take today. The market's finally been acting a little bit more normal. The charts you're looking at here are the NASDAQ. I'm also following the British pound and crude oil on my other charts, but I would be happy to take a look at any chart which is of interest to you. All right, let's take a look at what's been going on. Here, let's take a look at the overnight here in the Falcon. So we had the London Open right about here, and we had a little bit of a run up, a nice progression. We had a trend change signal develop right here. Actually turned out to be a late filter entry signal also shortly after the London Open. And the late filter entry signal is pretty easy to identify. It occurs when the trend line does not change color, but the filter does. You see how the filter went out of sync here for a moment, came back into sync, and that tends to be a very strong signal. And you can see how we had very nice follow through out of that. And a little bit of run up just prior to the open. And here we are working a possible trend change signal to the downside. I think probably everybody and their brother is looking for the stock market to head a little bit lower. But of course, on those kinds of days is when you always see it go higher. All right, well, we'll see what gives. Here on the Hawk Scalper, you can see we're starting to generate quite a few yellow bars. The yellow bars are telling us that this market is moving sideways, that the market is getting very choppy. And if that's the case, we'll see how it plays out, but we may end up having just to identify the range and leave the market alone until we get outside of this range. People are always asking me, Eric, how do you trade a choppy market? Well, quite honestly, I usually don't. Usually a choppy market, I leave it alone. At least until we get out, because what's going to happen is when we get outside of the chop, we're going to see a test and a retest, right? We're going to get one of these types of things going on. And somewhere through here, we're going to generate a signal. All right, we're actually generating a signal now. We're getting, oh, we did have warning dots. Oh, here we're coming with a red bar buy signal. Wow, look at this. They're really active this morning. Which has been a nice change of pace over what we were seeing the previous weeks. Okay, getting a possible red bar buy signal here brewing on the Eagle trend trader. I think, however, we've nixed the trend line that we had here. Let's see how that's playing out. Oh yeah, we've definitely broken the trend line. It looks as though we do have a test of the extreme right here. So possible failure brewing there. Let's see if we can't get a signal opportunity. Oh, we had one right here. While I was showing you that, here in the hawk, we had our first micro-macro crossover signal. I'm going to throw in an order just down here, see if I can cover it up there. All right, there we go. Oh, what happened there? Hold on a second. Something funky went on with my order. Okay, well, we'll try that again as that sets up. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're working on a little bit of a 4-arrow consolidation pattern here. What I'm doing is I'm trying to give the market a little bit of breathing room here and run my stop relatively deep because there is a chance I'm going to get a macro pullback signal here. And I'm playing with my break-even trigger today. Trade Manager actually allows you to automatically roll your stops to break even. All right. We'll leave that alone for a moment. This is a little bit of a rather aggressive trade. We're only a few minutes into the session, of course. And here on the Eagle, so we're challenging the lows right here. We'll see if we come back. Oh, it is trying to give us a little bit of a green bar or a green warning dot, which will be all right. The band has almost turned over. Once that turns over entirely, we'll be in good shape to sell. Let's take a look here what's going on the Raptor. The Raptor not quite, well, actually almost turning over. We're going to see if we're generating a bunch of red warning dots here. We'll see if we come back with a sell signal out of that. Now the Raptor is a little bit different than the other tools in that we manually enter the trade this way, and once the trade is entered, it's actually live. You got to be careful where you put it down because it is live as soon as you put it on your chart. I tend to try to put it away and then roll it in, but the market is moving a little bit quickly. All right, we did hit our profit objective here. Did I have a chance to have a runner on that one? No, I didn't. Well, that's all right. Still, a nice way to start the day. So a nice little 4-arrow consolidation built into a macro pullback. You can see we did that little retest thing, right, that we were looking for. We break out of the zone, come back, give the retest, and away they go. So it looks as though we are going to see prices tail off a little bit today. At least that's how it's looking right now. And we did get comparable signals across the board here. Here was our first trend change signal in the Eagle. Now this is one that you can have a little bit more confidence in because we did break the trend line. We did see a test of the extreme and a failure, right? This test of the extreme, very important. When we see that test of the extreme, that gives us the heads up that, hey, wait a minute, maybe the buyers are starting to lose control and the sellers are going to take over. So when we see the signal print, that tells us that all the trade parameters are in place. So we can place our entry. Well, we can go with the suggested stop loss here on the ATR, and you can see that we have just hit our high probability profit target. So a nice little signal there on the eagle also. Somebody's asking me about these blue dots that they see on the screen. These blue dots are your automated stop loss strategy. And this is part of Trade Manager or Trailblazer. And you have 16 different stop strategies to choose from. Some are more aggressive, say like the parabolics. Some are a little bit more conservative, like the chandelier. And they're all fully adjustable. You can change them, however you like. Make them more or less aggressive. A lot of times I'll go with the ATR, and if it looks like it's following the market pretty well, then I'll just stay with that. But you can fine tune it as the trade goes along. A lot of times if I have a lot of open profit, say we had shorted here and we have a runner in play, rather than leave my stop here, I will switch to something on the fly, maybe like parabolics, which will protect a little bit more of my open profit. The principal difference between Trade Manager that you see here and the Trailblazer, which is what I have on the Raptor, is, well, there's two components really. The Raptor is more of a one-click system. So with the Raptor, what I would do is, let's say I'm going to take this sell signal down here. This isn't really one of our Raptor sell signals, but for the sake of demonstration, let's say I do that. You're going to notice if we get brought in here that the Raptor will automatically give me a profit target, which I have set at 20 ticks, and automatically give me a stop loss as per my stop strategy. All right, see that? So really all I need to do is enter the trade and it will default to my profit target and my stop strategy, which effectively makes it like a one-click system. That's the nice thing about the Trailblazer. The Trade Manager, however, does have this added component of what we call the Risk Manager. That's this little module that you see down here. And the Risk Manager has two modes. It has the risk % mode and the manual mode. And what this does is it prevents you from ever over-capitalizing on a losing trade. So let's say we're going to take this macro pullback signal. You can see right now I'm set at 1% of my trading capital. That means no matter where I place my stop loss, let's say I place my stop loss right here for starters. You can see I'm risking $125. Actually, let me dial that up to 2%, which is what I normally do. So that means regardless of where I place my stop loss, let's say I'm going to take this macro pullback signal, I'm going to be risking $455. Now that's 2% of my trading capital. Don't freak out if all of a sudden you see $450 and you're thinking, whoa, wait a minute, Eric. This is based on my trading capital. So $450, notice the tight stop. What if I place a looser stop? Let's say I run my stop way, way up here above this swing high. Oh, look, the risk is approximately the same, 415. So, but what has changed? Well, what has changed is the quantity that I'm trading, right? Down here, I was trading, what was it, 7 contracts or something like that? 6 contracts for $420. And up here, I'm trading 1 contract for $405. But trading is as much about probabilities as anything. The probability that this trade will work out with the great big stop is much higher than the probability that running a tight stop, right? The chance that I'm going to get tagged here is probably pretty good because my stop is obviously very tight. Now, the nice thing about DTS is that it's great at picking up immediate market momentum. So you can see, even though this was a relatively tight trade, we still did pick up on the immediate momentum. Hit our high probability profit target, and now we're into yellow bars, so we're going to ignore that for a little bit. Welcome, Craig. Craig's a new DTS owner. He's got a question here. He says, if all 3 birds are aligned and you take the trade, which bird do you normally use to place the trade? Then do you look at another bird, i.e. the eagle, to determine your profit targets? Okay, that's a very full question. All right, so what Craig is asking is, if I use the birds in conjunction, do I use them also to set different profit objectives? We tend to have high probability profit targets for each of the different birds, Craig. So I do like to see the signals in sync. Sometimes, especially when trading, the market gets a little bit twisted and a little bit convoluted and stuff, you're going to see things like, well, you're going to see sell signals developing on the eagle, but your hawk and falcon might start to look a little bit more bullish. That's telling you that the market is in a little bit of transition, and you're going to anticipate some choppy trading. Now, a lot of times I don't use the charts in the traditional sense to set profit objectives. The reason is that for me, profit targets like that are always easier to see in hindsight. So let's say I'm looking at the eagle here, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to take this trade. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing of risk-reward ratios. Suffice to say that you need to concentrate more on the probability of the signal than whether you're getting a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 reward relative to your risk. Because what you end up doing if you trade that way is you end up manufacturing a trade to suit your profit target. So in other words, if I'm looking at taking this signal here, where do I think my profit target is? Well, I know a lot of you are saying, well, hey, Eric, your profit target is right up here at this swing high. Okay, how do you know the market's going to go there? You don't. Nobody does, right? So my whole thing with risk-reward ratios is, why would you base a trade on your profit objective when you don't know what the profit target is? You don't know how high the market is going to go. So if I'm doing this the traditional way, I'm setting up my entry here, and now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh, well, wait a minute, I've got, I've got, what is that, about 15 ticks to get to, well, not 15 ticks, 15 points to get up to my profit target, so I can risk, can I risk 10 points to get there? Well, no, this is a 1-to-1. So then I end up making my trade really tight trying to get a 3-to-1 type reward to risk ratio. And what ends up happening is a lot of times is the market will bring you in and then stop you out immediately, right? And why is that? Well, that's because your stop is too tight. So rather than do that, what we do is we focus on high probability profit targets. Each tool has them and I'll get to each one in a moment, but what that allows you to do is it allows you that combined with using your risk module here so that regardless of whether you run a tight stop or whether you run a very loose stop, you're always risking an amount you can afford. That's very important. Even folks, if you take nothing else away from this session today, and before I forget, if you have any questions about the tools, let me give you a link that you can go to and you can get all this information. There we go. I wanted to get you that before I forgot. If you take nothing else away from our session today, remember it is very important to keep your risk constant. Adjust your position size relative to your risk. So if you have to run a deeper stop because the market is more volatile today, the market's making deep retracements, then what you need to do is you need to run a deeper stop. Well, half your position or take 3/4 of your normal position. The mistake most people do is they keep their position size constant. I've worked with a guy who said, oh, I'm going to only trade 3 contracts. And then what he ends up doing is he either strangles his trade, oops, wrong tool. He either strangles his trade trying to keep the risk amount down, and he ends up getting stopped out, or he'll loosen up the trade and he'll end up risking an amount he can't afford. Like, look at the risk on this. For 3 contracts, $1,500, when I know that I can only risk about $450. That's what I could afford to lose. But if you get tagged on a trade like this, well, it's not going to take long before you start to damage your account to the point where you can't trade any longer. Ooh, look at this. Trade forecaster says that we're in trend mode for about 170 minutes. Fantastic. Looks like we're going to see minimal pullbacks today and hopefully see the market stick to its direction. Trade forecaster, by the way, is one of these add-on tools that works with any chart. You can add this to a 5-minute chart. You can add it to a tick chart. It's not native to the DTS system. And you can find out more about that at that link that I posted you also. Okay, but what I was getting at, back to Craig's question, we run high probability profit targets. So that allows me to actually structure a trade properly, meaning that I'm controlling my risk. It's always the same amount. My position size changes. I can risk it below the trend line here, and I can be comfortable with the fact that, hey, even if this trade doesn't work out, at least I haven't lost more than I can afford. So the market comes up, brings me in. Oh, oops, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Gets close to my high probability profit target. Now I'm actually running auto break-even stops too. So after about 15 ticks, trade is going to roll to break even. So I probably would have been stopped at break even here on the reversal. But say I didn't get stopped on the reversal. Look at what happens here. I'm running a deeper stop. The market starts showing me again that it's starting to swing higher after this little failure here. This tells me that now it's time to get more aggressive with my stop. Why? Well, because the buyers stepped in here. I came up short of my high probability profit target. If it's going to fail to reach my high probability target, the market is probably going to reverse and head the other direction. yes, these high probability targets are that good. So there it fails shortly after, makes one more run, fails yet again, and then of course the market unwinds to the downside. So what are these mystical high probability profit targets? Okay, well with the Eagle, it is $200 per contract. So you'll need to adjust that for the instrument you're trading. In a tool like the NASDAQ, that's going to be 40 ticks because the NQ trades at $5 a tick. If you're trading the E-mini S&P, that's, what is that, 1632 ticks. If you're here on the Falcon Swing Trader, our high probability profit target is $100 per contract. And here on the Eagle, or pardon me, the Hawk, it is $50 per contract. And again, you would adjust that per instrument. Now, I should point out that with tools like, or instruments like crude oil and gold, even the Russell, which tend to be a little bit more active, that's a nice way of saying volatile, I will double the profit objectives most times. But if you want to go with the high probability profit targets across the board, it's 50 on the Hawk, 100 on the Falcon, 200 on the Eagle. And the Raptor is similar to the Falcon, so we're running a $100 profit objective. That would be our high probability profit target. Now, if you're expecting a trending day like we are today, it's to your advantage to have a runner in play. So what you can do, you can actually program a runner into your trade, either here on the Trade Manager or the Trailblazer. And what you would do is, you see here T1, T2, T3, these are your targets, your preset targets. So right now I have a preset target, target 1, 100% all in, all out. Well, if I change that, say 50%, I want to take half on target, and my target is down here T1, 10 ticks, and I want to leave the other half on as a runner. It will, Trade Manager will automatically do that for me, and then I can have a runner in play, and the trade will be managed according to the stop strategy that you see here. Okay, now we're starting to introduce a few more yellow bars, making me think that we might see a little bit of a pullback here. We did have two macro pullbacks within this trend. We had one back here, one back here. And that tends to suggest that maybe this trend is weakening short term, because we do only tend to see two macro pullbacks within a trend on our Hawk tool. So we'll see how this plays out. Oh, got a couple, maybe working on a late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. You see the trend line has not changed color yet. Our filter is out of sync. If this comes back with another sell signal, I might have to try to sell that again, even though the market is just in this huge decline today. I'm going to shoot a channel across here too and see how it's respecting that. All right, well, we nicked the bottom end of the trading range here. That is also a little bit bullish. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not normally in the habit of predicting where the market will go next, but we'll see how this unwinds. I'm thinking we're going to see a trend change signal here in the Falcon and possibly a green bar sell here in the Hawk, which is also similar to a trend change signal. Oh yeah, here they come. So our trend line now on the Falcon changing to green. So we're going to wait for our buy signal. Typically what we get is we get this up, down, up pattern. So here's the leg that the buyers have taken control. Now we're going to see the sellers fight it back. Here they come. And then if the buyers can take it away from them, we're going to generate a buy signal and possibly a counter trend move. All right, and I've got a question here while we're waiting for that. JM asks, new to your system, could you quickly explain the trade signals, dots, lines, arrows, etc., when to get in? Thanks. Yes, sorry about that. I take for granted sometimes that you guys know these things. Essentially, all the signals develop the same way. When the signal parameters are first being met, you're going to generate, well here, let me go back here so I can show you a proper signal. We're going to start generating warning dots and an audio alert. Now the audio alert is helpful because it actually allows you to watch several markets at the same time. So if I hear scalp, well then I know I just need to go check my scalping charts. So a lot of times I'll have 3 or 4 different markets up because all I really need to do is see which chart is producing the warning dot. So regardless of whether you're using the Falcon Swing Trader, the Eagle Trend Trader, or the Hawk Scalper, or the Raptor for that matter, you're going to generate a warning dot and an audio signal. When the trade is complete, or when the trade parameters have been met, you're going to generate a triangle and a hash mark. Now the hash mark is merely a suggested entry. Sometimes, as you can see here, let's dial this back, we'll pretend it's going real time. So here's a triangle and hash mark. You can see that, well, I'm only 2 ticks off of the low. Maybe I'll be a little bit more comfortable entering just below that low. So I'll offer up, say, 3 ticks, risk it to back here somewhere, and voila, I have my trade. So you don't always need to enter on the hash mark. However, the hash mark is where you would calculate your high probability profit target from. So that's essentially how the signals all unfold. The arrow indicates when this hash mark has actually been violated, and technically the signal has been filled. There are certain signals that we look for. We don't simply take every single signal. People start looking at this and they see all these arrows and triangles and everything, and they're saying, whoa, there's an awful lot of signals. Yes and no. There are certain signals that we do tend to favor. We don't blindly take every single signal, and sometimes people get into trouble doing that. Here's what we call, or what I call a cheat sheet. This is for the Hawk Scalper, and it identifies the 5 most prominent signals that we look for. So we're looking for, in the case of the Hawk, our first micro-macro crossover signal. It's when the micro line, that's this thin one, crosses over the macro line, and we generate a signal where everything is in sync. So we have green bars, a green signal, green trend lines, green filter. First signal that generates after the micro and macro line cross, that's the one we want to take. Exceptionally high probability signal. No kidding, folks, it has like a 85 to 90% success rate, excuse me, of hitting our high probability profit target. Macro pullback signal, easy to identify because the micro line, that's the thin one, goes out of sync. Generally, the market retraces to the macro line. Sometimes it goes a little deep, sometimes it comes up shallow, but the key is that that micro line goes out of sync. Again, very high probability signal. Four arrow consolidation happens. A lot of times it will work itself into a sideways channel or a bull or bear flag, depending on whether the market's going higher or lower. But after we generate three signals, we're really on the lookout for that fourth signal, because that's usually the one where the market's going to go. After that, we have our post four arrow consolidation. This one coincidentally also a macro pullback signal. And last but not least, we have our red bar buy, or its inverse counterpart, the green bar sell. These tend to be weaker. They tend to develop toward the end of the trend. Some markets, like the mid cap, that's the EMD, actually produce some pretty strong signals off of red bar buys and green bar sells. So each market has its own characteristics, but generally speaking, it tends to be a weaker signal, tends to develop near the end of the trend, and can also be used as our counter trend signal. So those are the types of things that you look for, and we have comparable signals for the Falcon and the Eagle and the Raptor. So right now we're working on a possible trend change signal here in the Falcon. Not quite there yet. Our trend line has changed. Now it's waffling a little bit, trying to head lower again. So as it flip-flops here, I may just leave this as a range. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. You see here on the Hawk, once again, we're starting to introduce a lot more yellow bars as we did earlier, suggesting that, hey, we're stuck in a trading range again. The market's come down, a long way since the last range. So we'll give that a little bit of time to simmer. Michael is asking, I don't have ticks set up at the bottom of the risk manager. Okay. Well, first off, make sure that you have a trade manager and not the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer does not have that option. The Trailblazer, you preset your profit targets up here. But to set your auto profit targets, yours is probably looking like this. So what you want to do is you want to click, and then you can set your profit objectives. And it does look like we are in a little bit of congestion mode. Oh, Craig's asking, where can I get a copy of the cheat sheet? Just shoot me an email, Craig. I'll give you my email address if anybody would like a copy. I think I actually sent you one the other day, Craig. But if not, just send me an email at eric@supportandresistance.com, and I will be happy to forward that to you. Okay, Michelle is asking, what is the line at the bottom telling you? Which tool are you asking about, Michelle? She's asking, is this a kind of oscillator? Well, no, not really. Our filter here at the bottom is kind of a momentum type tool. And what it does is we're looking in most cases for everything to be in sync when we take a signal. So we want momentum to be in our favor. The different tools work a little bit differently. Here on the Eagle, for instance, a lot of times we'll be paying attention to when the band starts breaking up down here. Who is gaining control, who is losing control. So you can see all of a sudden we get a little green sliver in here. Okay, not a big deal. Oh, all of a sudden after this enormous red section, we just get a tiny red section. Well, what's up with that? All of a sudden we get a bigger green section. It's like, oh, all right, maybe we're seeing a little bit of shift here. Smaller red section. Little green, little red, they're kind of swapping punches here. But the red, the sellers can't seem to gain control. And then all of a sudden we get this big green block and a trend change signal. It's like, yeah, okay, the sellers have lost their grip. The buyers now have control. We've generated a trend change signal to the upside. Let's go with that. So we throw in our order, maybe put our stop down. Oh, can't afford it. See, this is another nice thing about Trade Manager. It tells you when you can't afford the risk. So let's say I'm going to risk it below the trend line here. Get the bounce. Come on, get up there, and then we finally get our profit target. So each of the tools, that's generally what it is. It's a type of momentum filter. But as I said, each of the tools you can interpret a little bit differently. Here on the Falcon, we're looking for things to be in sync also. Here comes a late filter entry signal. I might give this one a go. So you can see we're getting the warning dots. I can anticipate that with my handy dandy logic counter, which forecasts where the prices will finish. You see I've got the bar there. I can risk it down here. Oops, I was a little bit slow on that. Let's try that again. So we'll go for a second push on this entry. So this is what we call a late filter entry signal. And we're not outside of the trading range just yet. But our trend line did not go out of sync. Our filter did go out of sync, came back into sync. Now, ideally, I wanted to enter a little bit down here, so I've got a little bit of slippage, but let's see if we can't get it up there. Okay, trade rolls to break even automatically, and voila. We pick up a little bit of profit for our trouble on a very predictable little trade. These late filter entry signals, very, very powerful signal. So now we've traded back into the hard edge of the Eagle. This is what I was mentioning earlier. You can see our Hawk and Falcon both a little bit more bullish, right? Our Hawk is printing green bars. We're outside of this trading range that we identified. The Falcon, green trend line, but look at this here on the Eagle. We're into the hard edge of the trading band. This hard edge is significant because we tend to expect a reaction when the market encounters the hard edge. And this is something you can do on your own. You can roll back through your chart and see every time the market intersected the hard edge, what happened? Oh, well, there was some sort of reaction there, right? Here it hit the hard edge, a little bit of a move lower. Hit the hard edge, big move lower, right? Hit the hard edge, it starts bouncing all over the place. Hits the hard edge, comes down. So here we are once again into the hard edge, and we're anticipating a little bit of a reaction here. Let's, oops. So we also have a little bit of a, well, I wanted to say bear flag, but that doesn't look much like a bear flag at the moment, does it? Okay, so here we had the the breakout that we were looking for, right? And what were we anticipating? This retest and then the rally, but we didn't get it. We're back into yellow bars. We're back inside the trading range. That makes me think that maybe the buyers don't have it together. Michael is asking, what time zone am I in? Pacific time, Michael. Yes, so I have to get up very early. You guys on the East Coast, you get to sleep in. I think I figured out once that Hawaii has a very good time zone for trading. And I actually had a friend move to the Ukraine, which isn't such a great place to be living right now. But apparently the way the time zones fall, and he moved from Las Vegas to the Ukraine, so that might have been a little bit of a culture shock. But the way the time zones fall, he found that he could trade both North American and European sessions without having to keep very odd hours. Michelle is looking here on the hawk. She was asking, now, let me get back to Michelle's question. Michelle, please correct me if I misinterpret your question. Okay, Michelle is asking about the line at the bottom. Well, if you're looking at these lines down here, this is just similar to the other tools where it's a momentum filter. The hash marks here up and down are more decorative. Computer programmers, right? They got to make things look pretty. You can see our macro line here swapping colors. It looks a lot like a Mexican flag, where we got the green, the gray, and the red, and flip-flopping back and forth. So rather indecisive market at the moment. Still making higher swing lows, so we'll see whether we get another poke to the upside here or not. Trying not to get too anxious. Let's see what's been going on in the world of crude oil. Here's crude oil on the Falcon. Not much. Kind of sideways right now since the open. Crude oil opened here 6 a.m. my time, and they just kind of stuck. Oh, these lines that you see on here, this is, again, this is an add-on. This is something that you can use on any chart style, not just DTS. This is the ultimate support and resistance suite. These are support and resistance lines. I'm quite proud of these. These took a long time to develop. And what they do is they forecast where support and resistance is likely to occur. You have 21 lines. Only twice have I seen the markets trade through all 21 lines, once in crude oil, once on the NASDAQ. The gold line here is the median line. It tells me that there's 10 lines above, 10 lines below. The blue line is the primary resistance, and the blue line below is primary support. These three lines tend to be the strongest. When the market gets on either side of these lines, it tends to impart a bullish or bearish tone on the market. So right now, Crude oil looking slightly more bullish because we're here above the primary resistance. Bouncing just shy of the secondary resistance, but we'll see. These are not pivot points. These are not Fibonacci levels. If they happen to coincide with one, it's more of a coincidence than anything. But yeah, not a whole lot going on in crude at the moment. So we'll put crude oil away. Here's the British pound. Let's take a look at the British pound on the hawk. Why don't we? Yuck. What a roller coaster. See the all the yellow bars here? That's warning me that the market's a little bit conflicted at the moment. Let's roll this back here toward the London Open when it should be behaving itself. Oh yes, much better. So the London market opened right about here. Coming into the open, we had a 4-arrow consolidation, one of those high probability signals that we tend to look for. Nice follow through from that. See, here's a green bar sell, which took a little while to trigger, but eventually saw the market tail off a little bit. There must have been something violent happen here because the market moved so quickly from here to here that we couldn't generate a first micro-macro cross signal. This is rare, but it can happen. The first micro-macro cross signal didn't develop until way down here. That's a little bit late. You know, if I'm going to take this type of signal, I really have to look at, running a very deep stop, and you can see that Trade Manager won't allow me to do that. It's saying, no, you're risking too much of your capital. But there's a very real possibility because the market came down this quickly that it's going to try to get back at least to the macro line. And last thing I want is just to be brought in and have the market peel against me. So not too much going on in the British pound at the moment. Oh, speaking of first micro-macro cross signals, we had one right here. Let's see if we reached our high probability profit target. So honestly, I'd probably risk that one down there. So it allows me 4 contracts. I'm running half on at target, or half off at target, pardon me, half as a runner. So I hit my target, trade goes to break even, I bank $100, and I get stopped on the remainder at break even. So we were working on a macro pullback signal there for a moment. Now the market has retreated all the way down here, and we're working on a possible red bar buy. See that? There's a red bar buy. How are we doing with the lows here? Oh yeah, we keep testing the lows. Now let's shoot a trend line here just for kicks. Okay, so here's that red bar buy. So had we taken that with trend, we'd hit our profit objective, and there was reason to suspect that might go higher. For those of you new to the room, we'd like to look for what we call a test of the extreme. The extreme being the latest high. So here we know we're making new highs. We can expect at least 2 legs in the direction of the breakout, right? So we kind of broke the swing high back here. Here's push number 1. Here's leg number 2. We can expect at least 2 of those. Well, before the market can fail and head the other direction, we need to see a test of the extreme. We need to know that this is actually as high as the market will go, in which case we will see the market rally and then fail. It will come up short of what we call the extreme, this price right here. So let's see how that unfolds. The market goes up. Oh, and there they go. They're starting to turn over. Oh, we're getting a double test of the extreme. We'll see if this one follows through or also fails. If we get that failure, then we're going to have a pretty good idea that this high will hold and we can get more serious about selling. Michael's asking about crude oil on the Raptor. Just one second, I'll load that up for you. And Bruce is asking, are the support and resistance line equidistant? No. Well, yes and no. Like they're almost a mirror image, but no, you can see that they change in distance. Well, it's harder to see here, but no, they're not equidistant. All right, let's bring the Raptor over here for crude oil. And you can kind of see we got the same sort of mess going on here. Oh, and by the way, you can change these bar colors. Some people really don't like the pink and the blue. You can change the bar colors to whatever you want. Yeah, the Raptor also showing the market pretty much stuck sideways. We're kind of trading at a very tight little range today. I'm not quite sure why that would be, but inventory was yesterday. No, sorry, inventory is today. That's why we're trading in a tight little range. All right, hold on a second here. We're going to and we're a few minutes from inventory report. A lot of times, I'll show you a little strategy here that you can do with your crude oil trades when it comes to inventories, is you can actually bracket the market. If you have a defined range like we have here, go ahead and place an order above and below this range. Now, I'll warn you, this is a pretty aggressive strategy because crude is not beyond making a fake breakout. In fact, I have a friend who tends to let the report hit the floor, and then a minute or two later, he will look at what kind of range the market is making or if there's a defined direction, and then he'll take the trade. But this looks like a fairly nice little sideways congestion. The market is currently trading more or less in the middle. We're only about a minute from the report release. Now, Trade Manager will automatically give me a stop. So I have my stops enabled. I'm going to make them a little bit broader. In fact, maybe I should go with chandelier. It's wider still. All right, we'll go with chandelier. It's one of the more conservative strategies. And we'll see here. Hopefully we're not going to get a fake breakout to the upside. And we're going to run a 20 tick target, and oh, actually we're going to run a 0 target. Let's see if we can't get a runner to work here. Ooh, the suspense. Okay, so we're right in the middle of the trading range, and the report should be hitting the floor any moment. Oh, okay. You know what I did wrong too is I wanted to have a I wanted to have a stop limit order, but it looks like the slippage wasn't too bad. Okay, now that we've engaged the order to the upside, I'm going to go with the ATR stop, which is a little bit more aggressive. Get up there. Get up there, you scoundrels. We'll give it a little push. Don't you dare fail at that high. If it fails at that high, then it's going to be a good spot to leave. In fact, I will roll my stop right there. Get up there. Nope. Okay, so we can actually look at reversing below the low now. And like I said, this is a very aggressive way to do the crude oil market. In fact, I want to go in with a stop limit. There we go. And let's try this again. Stop limit buy. There we go. The reason for that stop limit order is to reduce the slippage. I got slipped on this entry here. We got slipped about 4 or 5 ticks, which was annoying. And we'll give that just a moment still. You can preset your order styles. See, now notice with the Trailblazer here, as soon as I get filled, I automatically get a stop according to my stop strategy. I'm going to cancel my sell order now. And if this goes a little higher, you're going to see Trade Manager automatically roll my stops for me. Oh, come on, crude oil. Get up there. I'm trying to make a point. And here too, let's say I wanted to go with something more conservative to start. Let's say I'm going to go with the swing system. Notice I just accept it and Trade Manager automatically adjusts my stops based on my stop strategy. So now as the market is moving in my favor, I can preview something more aggressive, say like parabolics. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Click accept, and all of a sudden I've got parabolics working for me. And if this goes higher, you're going to see Trade Manager automatically roll my stop up. Come on, get up there. Isn't this always the way when you're trying to point something out? It doesn't want to cooperate. Get up there. Sometimes it helps if you tickle it with the mouse. Give it a little push. Come on, get up there. Come on, get up there. There you go. Get up there. Well, crude oil trying to put in a little bit of a rally there. There we go. Come on. Almost. Get up there. Give it a little push again. I just want to show you how the Trade Manager rolls the stops. I needed to go at least 1 bar higher. Well, they're not cooperating, so... Oh, did it roll the stop up a bit after that bar completed? I think it did. So now we're managing the trade as per the parabolic strategy. And like I said, they're all fully customizable. If you like something a little different, say you like the way the ATR is looking, then you can click the ATR. The most aggressive strategy we have is the bar high low. And what that one does is it gets you out really at the first sign of weakness. You can dial it up to be ultra sensitive. And we'll see if that one goes up or not. The bar high low, if I activate it, it will stop us out. Parabolics are usually pretty good though. I like parabolics. See, so parabolics right up there now, protecting the trade. Okay, so there was crude oil. Not too much coming out of the inventory report today. Not quite as active as it normally is. What I was going to show you also is that here on our tools, we have different order strategies that we can choose from. So we have 4 different order types. By default, I normally go with the stop. I tend to trade markets that don't slip too much anyways, but if you're afraid of slippage or you want to control your slippage, you can go here with the stop limit order, and you can control your slippage up here. You can preset how much slippage you're prepared to accept. So you can see we had the test of the extreme right here. Right, so here was the high, here was the test, here's the failure, so now we would be on the lookout for a sell signal. This is a signal that printed, but it wasn't in sync yet. So we actually had to wait a little bit longer. Here's our first micro-macro cross signal. Right, this is the first signal where everything is in sync. Micro line, macro lines cross, everything is red. Bars are red, trend line is red, filter is red, signal is red. This is one of our high probability signals. And you can see, boom, hit our profit objective, trade would be at break even, and I would have a runner now on the rest of my position. And where would my stops be? Would I still be in this trade? Yep, I'd still be in this trade. And honestly, at this point, hitting the lows, I think I would be going to a more aggressive parabolic or something. Try to protect some of this open profit. And that's what we do. We try to, like I say, concentrate on the higher probability signals. You don't need to take a lot of trades. You know, people are under the misconception, and I address this a lot in these open houses, but people are under the misconception that you need to take a lot of trades in order to be a successful trader, and nothing could be further from the truth. What you need is you need to trade volume, not frequency. Trading is not unlike flipping a coin. You know, how many times can you flip heads in a row? 3? Maybe, on average. Yeah, sometimes you'll hit a streak where you flip heads 6 times in a row, but really the probabilities are not stacked that way. Here is the last tool. I haven't really addressed this one yet. This one here that I have on my hawk in the top left corner, this one is called the Day Ranger. Very useful tool. Another one of these add-on tools that you can put on any chart, regardless of whether you're running DTS or not. The nice thing about Day Ranger, this was actually developed by Omar El Tuki, who is the Forex guy who uses DTS. And it's very useful at gauging the daily range relative to what the market has been. So you can see 30-day average, 10-day average, 5-day average, and it looks like the average range is increasing, which is good. Today's range, 230 some odd ticks. Yesterday's range was huge at 457. So what does this tell you? Well, let's say you're looking at this and you're saying, well, the range is increasing somewhat. It looks like we're averaging about 200 ticks a day. Well, you can use this to help set profit targets. You can use this to help set stops. Let's say you wanted to risk 15% of the daily range as a stop. Well, that would mean you would run a 15-tick stop. Or if you wanted to run 20% as a profit objective. Let's say you wanted to try to capture 20% of the daily range as a profit target. Well, that means you would have a 40-tick profit objective based on what the market's recent ranges are. So if the ranges are decreasing, you would be a little bit more conservative. If the ranges are increasing, you could be a little bit more aggressive. And it looks like we're back in consolidation mode. Brad's asking, do you have historic stats on the Raptor based on the trades on the cheat sheet? No, because I'm still developing the cheat sheet for the Raptor. The reason I did the cheat sheet for the Hawk is, for whatever reason, people seemed most confused by the Hawk. So that was the first one that we addressed. But I'm working on the cheat sheets for the Raptor right now. All right, still in sideways mode. Oh, and by the way, folks, Adam just notified me that the DTS system is actually free today. So if you're not currently a DTS owner, you can go to Indicator Warehouse and you can buy DTS absolutely free. That's right, just enter the code April Fool's Day. Yeah, I'm kidding, of course. Oh, Phil. Phil's giving me a hard time about the cheat sheet for the Falcon, which is long overdue. Yes, and the Falcon. I've taken a short hiatus from the trading room so that I can get these things done. Oh, looks like I got a couple of people. Oh, now Phil's making me feel bad. He said he wrote one himself. Send it to me then. Oh, dear. Too much fun. Oh, see, crude oil still pushing higher. I guess I ran my stop a little bit too cozy on that trade. I needed just a little bit longer to sort themselves out. Well, things have settled somewhat. We're still in this congestion mode. Slightly larger range than what we were looking at before. But a range all the same. Now this is the kind of thing where you start looking, okay, do I have, this is a macro pullback signal, do I have an opportunity to profit here? This is also a 4-arrow consolidation. Okay, so now it's a signal we need to make a decision. Well, how are we going to protect ourselves? Well, for starters, I'm probably going to roll the risk down to 1% instead of 2%. Because frankly, it's not, we're range bound. I really don't know if this is going to go higher or lower. Maybe I'm going to go all in, all out on target. Maybe I will wait for a second push on the entry. So I'll let the signal trigger like it did here, look for the bar to retreat a little bit like it is here, try to run a deeper stop, give the market a little bit more staying power, or give the trade a little bit more staying power. But this is, it's a tough trade, to be sure. And, we are kind of range locked here. Get up there. Okay, so I've got my auto break even working. Get up there. There we go. At least we got the trade to break even. Hooray! We even managed to pick up a couple of ticks before it starts to encounter the top end of the trading range. All right, well, we'll put that one back up on the shelf. Oh, fantastic, Michelle. Way to go. Michelle is still in that crude oil trade. Well, she's going to be a happy girl. Hold on, let's bring crude oil over here. We'll just pull it up here on the Falcon. Nice little trend change signal right around report time. And look at it go. Way to go, Michelle. Knocking it out of the park. Look at that go. Good for you. She's running the, up 600 and change. Well done. She's using the swing lows to give her a little bit of staying power. Phil is asking about the cheat sheet. If you guys need the cheat sheet for the Hawk, just email me at eric@supportandresistance.com, and I will be happy to send that to you. It's probably on the website somewhere, but I'm afraid I don't have the link. So just shoot me an email and I will send you a copy. Oh, I see Elliot is in the room. Good morning, Elliot. Elliot is a broker from NinjaTrader. Elliot, you just let me know when you're ready and I'll unmute you and you can give everybody your 2 cents worth. Tell us what's going to happen next. No pressure. Michelle says, I think I've got to get up and walk away before I stop fiddling with my trade. I know, Michelle. It plagues me too. But you know what? Don't let that profit evaporate. It's always a fine line. It's a bit of a balancing act, right, between your open profit and maximizing the potential of the trade. But don't let don't let all that profit evaporate. Okay, Elliot's ready to go. Hold on a sec here, Elliot. I'll unmute you. Good morning, Elliot. Oh, you're not coming through.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, there you are. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for letting me interrupt your trading day and provide a little bit more information about NinjaTrader brokerage.
Absolutely.
I'll
Go
leave
ahead.
it to
It's
you
all yours. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, feel free to interrupt me at any point in time if the market starts to move in a way that you want to address the audience. Don't hesitate to interrupt me.
Okay.
Well, thank you to Eric. Thank you to Adam for inviting us in to speak to the audience. And really just we're trying to build awareness about NinjaTrader brokerage. Really what's been interesting since we launched NinjaTrader brokerage services in July of last year is talking to customers that a lot of people still have, when they think of NinjaTrader, they think of the platform. And instead, we're trying to get people to understand that we're also a brokerage and you can come to us directly. And so it's this is part of that campaign, is really going out and making sure that we're building awareness, answering questions, and also delivering the message of why NinjaTrader became a brokerage and what the benefits are to the trading community. I'll start with the risk disclosure. As a registered broker, we always have to start with this. Anytime we speak in public, futures and forex trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. You can find the full CFTC risk disclosure on the bottom left corner of the NinjaTrader brokerage website. And I always add, one of the benefits of trading futures, one of the reasons that people gravitate towards the futures markets is because you get some very good leverage, and what clients should understand is there are risks that are associated with that, and if you don't understand those risks, contact us. Let us talk you through what those risks are. But that being said, let me come back to the message of NinjaTrader and why NinjaTrader became a brokerage firm. And it really comes down to one thing, and that's customer experience. NinjaTrader has had years of receiving customer feedback about their brokerage partners and really been reliant on those brokerage partners to deliver the same type of service that NinjaTrader has tried to deliver on the platform side of things. And so this was a way for us to improve the trader's overall experience beyond that trading platform. And really front of mind for everybody, I think, is probably the commission rates. Everyone thinks of commission as a cost, and when you're running your trading account, you should be treating it like it's a trading business. And so I know that it's more interesting to focus on methodologies and new indicators and talking about how to generate profit in your account or the revenue for your trading business. But you should also understand what your expenses are to run your trading business. And one of those that is going to come up on every single time you hit the button to place a trade is commission. So it's important that you understand those trading costs. But back to the idea of customer experience and the feedback that we've received over the years about our brokerage partners, the hard thing is customers have always had a hard time comparing one broker to the next. And the reason being is commissions can be displayed in a lot of different ways, and even the word commission can mean something different depending on the brokerage firm. And it's a frustrating aspect to the futures industry. But what most people will see is that typical brokers will have a line for clearing, meaning the FCM clearing cost. They'll have another line item for technology. What we do is we wrap that up into our commission rate. And so it's important for people to understand. Eric, I'm not sure if you're able to bring up the NinjaTrader brokerage website.
Let me see what I can do.
Even if it's just briefly, I don't want to cover the charts for too long, but just the details of the commissions, it's a little easier to see it when you're hearing this.
Of course.
So we base the commissions off of the license type. There you go. Just click on brokerage on the top right corner.
Come on, computer. I've got the recording software and everything else going on here. The poor computer can't keep up.
Yeah, sure. And then if you click on the green box, the deep discount commissions. So we base our commission rates on license type. So for those customers who have purchased a NinjaTrader lifetime license, we know you've made a strong commitment to NinjaTrader by purchasing that lifetime license. We're making an equally strong commitment by providing our deep discount rate of 53 cents per contract. This is a rate that previously was really reserved for the highest volume traders. There are no volume requirements on this rate. It is totally based on your license type. So if you have a lifetime license or you're doing a decent amount of volume, I certainly encourage you to look at the lifetime license and significantly reduce your trading costs.
Wow, that's huge.
So coming back to that point of what's included in that commission, we try to spell it out here for you that commissions are per contract and include technology and clearing fees. This already includes the FCM clearing cost. It already includes the CQG technology fee. So what that means is when you look at your statement, it's really important that you understand and look at not only what your total cost is, but look at for those line items that might say clearing, that might say CQG trade route fee or technology fee. Those are already included in our commission. So if your current broker breaks those out, they may say that commissions are 50 cents, but then you have a 50-cent clearing cost, and then you have a 50-cent technology cost. Your real cost then is $1.50, not 50 cents. So just make sure you understand what's included in that commission line and what your true total trading cost is. So for those that are leasing the platform, it's 73 cents per contract, and for those that want to use the free direct edition, it's 95 cents per contract. Still a very competitive rate within the industry. To me, it comes down to a math problem. If you're a brand new trader, you're not going to be doing a lot of volume, you're trying to keep your costs low, use the free direct edition and pay the 95 cents per contract. Again, still a very competitive rate, but if you're only doing a handful of contracts per month, that difference isn't going to make isn't going to be a big difference. If you're trading a decent amount, then you should absolutely be looking at the lifetime license. It's just under $1,000, and for that, you can recover a lot of that cost very quickly when you're paying 53 cents per contract and saving money every single time you trade.
Quick question for you, Elliot.
Yeah.
Um, I have a couple of folks here asking. Phil first is asking, he's saying, my current broker is now charging me an additional monthly fee for the ICE exchange. What fees do you charge for the ICE exchange for the Russell?
So for the Russell, none. For if you're using ICE UK, which would be like Brent crude is the popular contract from ICE UK, there is an additional charge if you don't place a trade. If you place a trade, that fee is actually waived.
Wow, that's great. Natalie is asking, did I hear you right that 95 cents includes all other fees?
It includes exchange. It includes FCM clearing, and it includes technology. If you click on the left-hand column, all available markets, I'll break this out a little bit further for everybody. That 53, 73, and 95 includes FCM clearing, it includes the brokerage commission, it includes technology. What it does not include is the exchange fees. So what you can see is the exchange and NFA column, third and fourth column, those are the same regardless of brokerage firm. So it doesn't matter what brokerage firm you're at, you're going to pay the same exchange fees, the same NFA fees. What will be different depending on the brokerage firm you're at is what your additional costs are. The additional costs would be brokerage commission, FCM clearing, technology. We wrap those all up into one category, which is commission. So if you add, I'll use the ES, the second row down. If you choose the lifetime license, you're paying 53 cents. You have exchange fees of $1.16, NFA fees of 1 penny. Your total per contract fee is $1.70, and your per round turn fee is $3.40. No volume requirements on this. It is simply based on your license type. So $3.40 should be what you see on your statement. No surprises.
Yeah, that is a pleasant surprise, because normally your account statement reads a lot like my phone bill. You know, these little mysterious charges. What the heck is that for?
And you'll see there certainly there are line items in the statement. That's part of the clearing has to do that, and so it isn't as clear as what we're showing here on the statement. What I can say is you will see the total cost will be $3.40 if you're trading the ES and you have a lifetime license. The point here is we're trying to go with simple, transparent view of what the commissions are, something that we feel like is not necessarily clear throughout the industry.
No, that's true. That's true. There are a lot of some brokerages do like to slip a few extra charges in after the quoted commission rate. I know exactly what you're talking about. Another quick question for you. I know I live in British Columbia, and given our investment laws and such here in this province, we actually don't have a whole lot of assortment as far as futures brokers go. Stock brokerages, sure, no problem, but futures brokerages, not that many. Now, I know you have affiliations with Interactive Brokers here in BC, but are there any plans for NinjaTrader to get more of a presence here in Canada and in BC in particular? Do you know anything about that?
We're certainly working on it. It's really not a NinjaTrader brokerage issue as much as it is a clearing issue. You have to have a clearing registration in Canada. There are not many options, and so our two clearing partners, one being Dorman Trading, which is where all of our accounts go now, and a new relationship we're going to be launching in the next month or so. Both of them do not have registration in Canada, but both are working on it. I would say realistically, probably by the end of this year, we hope to have a solution.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
both know we are putting a lot of pressure on them because we used to be able to provide service to Canadian accounts, and we had a ton of Canadian accounts, and so we want to make sure that we can provide that service to Canadian residents, and so we will certainly be making an announcement once that is possible.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic because since 9/11, the financial industry, especially in relation to futures, has just been a nightmare up here.
Right.
It's like all the big American players pulled out, and the few small Canadian firms out there weren't providing you with the data or the services that you need. One more question that I have, and I think I've got a couple other questions here from other folks. Spreads. Does your brokerage handle spread trading as well, or are you more just futures trades?
Yeah, we're mostly just futures trades. Are you options as well, or just spreads between futures contracts?
Yeah, well, this time of the year I always start looking at grain spreads and meat spreads. So normally just outright future spreads instead of an option spread.
So you can do an outright future spread. The problem is you're basically legging into it. There is no specific functionality to place one trade and have a spread. We also don't have the risk capabilities to provide. Normally you could get spread margin to reduce your margin requirement on a spread position. We don't have either one of those capabilities. So yeah, from that perspective, as long as you're well funded, you can leg into those spreads, but that's about it.
Here's a question. This might be a dumb question, so I won't mention the person's name. He's saying it might be a dumb question. But he asked, can you trade the Russell, the TF, through any other exchange other than ICE?
No.
No.
TF is only available by the ICE.
Yeah.
Yep. It is a popular product. It's from our customer base, it's definitely one of the top 5 or 6 markets that we see clients trading.
Yeah. Michelle is asking, I currently use Ninja Brokers and I get a statement from Dorman, which is really difficult to read. Are there any reporting capabilities which can be done on my account rather than relying on a single PDF emailed to me? Do you know anything about that?
There isn't. We are working on something that would be kind of a souped-up performance report inside NinjaTrader. This is one of the benefits of NinjaTrader becoming a brokerage is the platform enhancements. There are a lot of these. There's a real separation between trading platform and your brokerage account. In futures, so many brokers use third-party software. Ninja was one of them, and because of that, the software company focused on the charting, the trading capabilities, and those things, but didn't have true integration with your brokerage account. In the equities world, if you're an E-Trade customer trading equities, you can request a wire from the trading platform. You can request your 1099. You can interact with your brokerage account in a much better way through the platform. That's something that NinjaTrader is very focused on, providing a better, more seamless interaction between your trading platform and your brokerage account, being able to request a wire, your 1099, get support, and unofficial statements like I believe you said Michelle was asking about. Those are things that we're trying to build inside the trading platform. So you would have similar to the performance report, but this would be more of a looking much more similar to a statement.
Yeah.
Where it shows your fees, it shows all your trade history and all of those things. I can tell you it will not be referred to as an official statement because that requires a whole different process with going to the exchange and the regulators and getting it approved as an official statement. So the official statement will still be what you receive today in PDF form, and I always encourage people to check your statement on a daily basis, but from an unofficial standpoint, I think we can do a much better job inside the NinjaTrader platform to provide you a better report and easier view of what your trading history and trading activity is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
So
Michelle's also
soon to come.
asking. She's also asking when the new clearinghouse is set up, will she have the option of moving away from Dorman to the new clearinghouse?
You will. It will be open for customers if they want to move from one to the other, that it won't be an issue.
Okay. Question here from Phil. Phil asks, Elliot, can Ninja arrange a direct transfer of my cash account at another broker direct to the new Ninja account?
For the most part, yes. The reason I say for the most part is it actually depends on the sending firm, not the receiving firm. So in most cases, people will fill out an account transfer form that goes to Dorman, the clearing firm. They send it to the current holding clearing firm, which then will say, yes, we authorize this, and they send the funds over. Or they actually have the ability to say, no, we don't do account transfers, tell us where to send a check or wire the money. Most do allow for an account transfer. I certainly encourage, if you do an account transfer and the current firm is telling you that they can't do it, let us know. We usually can apply pressure from Dorman. It's unfortunately more of a tactic from the holding firm to try to prevent you from moving, and it shouldn't be. So let us know. Most firms do allow for a direct transfer, though.
Yeah, usually it's just a professional courtesy.
Exactly, you got it.
Bruce is asking, Bruce is currently using TradeStation, and he's got some indicators on there. He says, is there a way to convert my TradeStation indicators and strategies to NinjaTrader if I choose to switch?
There isn't an easy converter. I know that there are some third parties that have built converters, easy language converters to NinjaScript. The problem that we have in recommending them is it's not always 100%, and then that's where we get into trouble, that when it isn't 100%, that somebody comes back to us to say, hey, this converter wasn't 100%, and that now the system or the indicator is acting funny. The reality is converters typically don't work 100%, and so it really does require you to rebuild those in NinjaTrader, in using NinjaScript. Right. The benefit that I can tell you is, for those who have programming knowledge, because NinjaScript is a offshoot of C or a C++, you'll have the ability to, it'll be a much more widely known programming language, whereas Easy Language is really, even though they have a great marketing name with the name Easy Language, it is specific to TradeStation. You're not going to be able to take that code and use that in another format. So it's NinjaScript is built on a real programming language, so you can actually use that with Excel and other formats.
Yeah, just to interject, that was actually the reason that Diversified Trading Systems here was built on NinjaTrader, because the other platforms weren't, the programming languages weren't robust enough to actually support the programming. So,
sure.
Yeah, no, the programmers that Adam has.
Only enhancements with NinjaTrader 8 coming out later this month. You'll see that there's only more enhancements to the programming language, providing even more flexibility.
Perfect. Bruce is asking, can you accommodate IRA accounts?
Yes, they do have to go through a third-party custodian. We work with many different custodians. We definitely recommend Midland IRA as a company to take a look at if you don't already have a custodian. Midland IRA gets great reviews from customers. They do a great job of customer service, so we always try to recommend them. But it just has to go through a custodian, and then you can open up an IRA account with us.
Well, that sounds easy enough. Phil is asking, can I ask which bank is the holding bank for Ninja, and are traders' accounts segregated?
Accounts are segregated. That's a rule that should not be specific to clients at NinjaTrader brokerage. That's across the industry. The bank is BMO Harris Bank. It's actually the bank used by Dorman Trading, not NinjaTrader Brokerage, as Dorman is the one responsible for holding your funds.
Okay, I think that's it for the questions right now. Oh, Michelle's knocking it out of the park, locked in $530 on that crude oil trade. Fantastic, Michelle.
Nice.
Was there anything else you wanted to share, Elliot?
You know, the only other point that I wanted to make in terms of the benefits to the trading community about NinjaTrader becoming a brokerage is related to support. I know that, again, coming back to that fragmented view of the futures industry where you've got a data feed company, a brokerage firm, a platform company, FCM clearing, you've got the exchange, you've got a third party. It's the problem with that is when you run into an issue or you have a question, who do you go to? And what NinjaTrader is trying to do is simplify life for the trader by providing one single source of support for both brokerage and platform questions. For many of you, you're probably already NinjaTrader users, so you've had some interaction with our support team. The platform support team is the model is built on email and support forum, so it's electronic media for providing support. It's worked extremely well over the years. I think you'll find you get responses extremely fast. And if you ever need to talk to someone on a platform support question, you just email them your phone number and they'll call you. Brokerage is a different beast where you need to talk to someone. We have a phone number that you can call in from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time for non-emergencies. And if you have an emergency, we have a 24-hour dedicated order desk line, so you can, if you lose your internet connection when you're in a position, you can always call us, check your orders, have us liquidate your position. You always have access to the 24-hour emergency line.
Yeah,
So,
that was going to be my next question, actually. That's good to know.
yeah, this is really an important piece. I know everyone focuses on costs, and we've got a great commission breakdown for everybody, but I think something that is understated in our industry is the ability to provide one single source of support. And right now, I hear it on a daily basis from customers that are really happy to know they can just call us or email us with questions and get the response for both platform and brokerage.
That's fantastic. A couple more questions here, Elliot, and then Bruce is asking, are the funds insured?
They are not. In fact, there are no futures accounts that are insured, with the caveat that I believe Interactive Brokers may do it because they have an ability to move the funds from a futures account into an equities account. But futures do not provide insurance like an SIPC insurance like equities do.
Right. And Phil I already know the answer for this one, but I'll let you answer. Who is the recommended data feed supplier for Ninja?
So we do have CQG Continuum as our default. That's what all these, when I mentioned all the commission rates that include technology, it already includes CQG Continuum. We do have other alternatives from Rhythmic. We do have access to Kinetic as well. Both of them come with additional costs. Most of our clients are using CQG Continuum.
Mm-hmm. Is there, Michael is asking about account minimums. Do you have account minimums to get the commissions that you mentioned?
No, commissions are independent of your account funding. We do have a $1,000 minimum for funding.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty reasonable. Phil is asking about a phone number for contacting you outside of the USA. Do you want people to contact you directly? I have your email address here, Elliot, that I can post for everyone.
Actually, let me post, yeah, why don't you let me post, if I can send, oh, no, this is only to you.
That's all right. I can repost
this link. This link has all of our contact information from phone number to, oh, that's funding. Sorry, that's not the right one. This is our full contact information. It's got our email. If you're in the U.S., we've got a toll-free number. overseas, you can use our direct number. It also has the 24-hour emergency line to be able to contact us with any emergencies.
Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. Ah, there it is. Okay, and that will be this page right here, and I will post the link for everyone. There you go. Timothy is asking, will the 7.0 indicators still work when Ninja 8.0 comes out? I sure hope so. Usually you guys are pretty good about that.
Yeah, it's definitely an important question. For 95% of the indicators that are built in NinjaTrader 7, they will port over to NinjaTrader 8 without any problem. The only reason we leave ourselves the 5% leeway is for people who really pushed the envelope in development in NinjaTrader 7 and went outside what would have been considered recommended. It's probably less than 5%, but yeah, I don't expect you guys to have any issues.
Michael is asking about the amount of time. He says, I'm about to open an account. Approximately how long is the process from start to finish?
You know, every account is a little bit different. If you're opening an individual U.S. account, it's pretty simple, and you should be done within the day. If you're an international corporation owned by two other corporations, and one's in Cyprus and the other's in British Virgin Islands, and we see these types of accounts, they get pretty complicated, and so it may take a few days to get back and forth on the paperwork. Once the paperwork is in, we have everything that we've requested, absolutely should be 24-hour turnaround time.
Wow, that's pretty good. A couple more questions here. I'm glad you came on. Everybody's got loads of questions for you. Chris is asking, are there inactivity costs if you're just using a SIM account?
We do have an inactivity fee. It's $25 per month, and the way it works is we actually get charged for every single customer that logs in to live data. We get a monthly fee for each user on a monthly basis. We absorb that cost, and we put that inside the 53-cent commission rates, but to prevent abuse, we have a $25 inactivity fee that's waived if you do just one contract. So we tried to set the barrier to this as low as possible. You trade one contract, the inactivity fee is waived. Again, just to prevent abuse of the system, we do have that $25 inactivity fee. And you have to log in as well. So if you take a month off and don't log in, then you're not going to get charged.
Wow. Phil is asking, do you allow joint accounts?
Absolutely.
Okay, well that was an easy one. And I think we're pretty much through the questions. Unless anybody else has another question for Elliot, please type away. And Elliot, the floor is yours. And if you have nothing left to say, then we're probably going to button up the room in a few moments here.
Yeah, absolutely. You've sent or you posted the link to the Contact Us page. You can also go to NinjaTraderBrokerage.com, and if you aren't a NinjaTrader user, sign up for a demo to try out the software. If you are a NinjaTrader user, hopefully you can see the compelling reasons to come over to NinjaTrader Brokerage and let us service your account both from a platform and a brokerage standpoint. I do want to also mention that we launched FX today. It is what we call a soft launch, meaning we updated the website. We'll be sending out some marketing emails next week to make more of a broad awareness that we're offering FX as well now. But did want to make sure that everyone heard that as well. And otherwise, I look forward to servicing your accounts. If you guys have any questions, if you aren't sure, because those statements are very challenging to read, if you aren't sure what you're currently paying, call us. Let us walk you through and help you decipher what your true trading cost is and how much we can save you by coming over. And if you have any other questions, let us know.
Well, thanks very much, Elliot. I know I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't realize that you guys did all those things. That's fantastic. And I have to say, I'm glad you guys chose a different model. That other guy was kind of geeky looking.
Right. Well, I'm just glad they put my picture up finally.
When that came out of my mouth, I was thinking, oh, gee, I hope that wasn't Elliot wasn't the geeky looking guy.
No, the marketing team is way too smart. They're not going to put my mug on the page.
All right, Elliot. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for letting me interrupt the trading day. I appreciate the invitation, and I'm sure we'll be back soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Talk to you
All
later.
right. Take care.
Bye. All right, you guys. I think that's just about it for today. If you're going to be trading this afternoon, oh, wait a sec. Mike's got a question here. On the trend chart, I see you on the top left bars, trend swing scalp. What indicator is that? Sure. That's the trade forecaster. That's this tool right here that Michael's referring to. Can I get it so you can see it better? There it is. The trade forecaster, it's a very handy tool. It tries to forecast what the current market environment is and what the next environment is likely to be. So currently it says we're in trend mode, and I think that's pretty much holding true for about a little more than an hour still. After that, we're going to be moving into swing mode. The way Trade Forecaster actually works is it looks back into the history of the chart and it says, okay, the last time the market had these types of conditions, this was the result of it. So not unlike how a weather forecaster predicts the weather, but fortunately a little bit more reliable, a weather forecaster looks back in history and says, okay, last time humidity was this and barometric pressure was that, and this, that, and the other thing, this was the result of it. And Trade Forecaster is very much the same way in that when the market environment was like this, well, then this is what happened. So with the Trade Forecaster, it does give you that sort of ability that you can have an idea as to what the market is likely to do next, as well as what the current market condition is. So yeah, very helpful little tool. Mike asks, how do you install it? Well, just like any other Ninja program, you would go to your control center and you would go here to your utilities and you would import your Ninja script. And it installs. Once it's installed, you go to your indicator panel and you would find it, where is it? It's one of these IW ones, Trade Forecaster. Where are you hiding? I got so many on here now. It's alphabetical. Why can't I find it? Have I forgotten my alphabet? Well, you'll have to take my word for it. I have it down here. And there's the Trade Forecaster. Really, the only setting you need to do is you need to set the market open time relative to your charts. All right. Okay, you guys, I think that's going to be it for today. If you're trading this afternoon, well, I think the market is still very much in a downtrend, so I would be more inclined to sell maybe than to buy. Crude oil still moving higher, although it's slowed considerably. So Michelle, if you're in that trade, you might want to think about snuggling in those stops a little bit. All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for your attendance today, and I hope to see you again next Wednesday when we have another open house. Same time, same station, as they say. Oh, fantastic. What a nice way to end the session. Michelle has got $800 locked into that crude oil trade. Way to go, Michelle. All right, you guys. Talk to you later. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye for now.